Congratulations if you've made some money off of Mara today. The stock is up 17.98%. This is where we ended. I'm going to give you some price targets for Tuesday on the 5-minute time frame. To the north side from where we are takes us back to resistance and a potential take profit area at 21.65, 22.41, and 23.06. Back at the middle of the trend and the baseline, 20.30. Another level of support, 18.89. A gap forms to the south side at -3 standard deviations and another level of support at 18.22. And this gap begins at -4 standard deviations, and then this gap closes out at basically -4 standard deviations at 17.53, and this gap closes to the south side at roughly 17.07. And looking left, let me clean up the chart. It's been a while since I've looked at this. I am in this trade. And we touched right there for the gap. Fill at roughly 1938. And then this gap touched right here. So we are done with that one as well. 1797 is where that one touched. We gapped down, so I anticipate it to fill to the upside, and that's what happened. And then apparently I am tracking another one. This one touched right there, so that's done. And that one was at 15.11. And what is this? This was part of my gap and go trades previously, but it hit all of the gaps to the north side that I was tracking. So then I stopped paying attention to it. So I've been in and out of this trade previously. Let's see, we touched here, but we are not done. So this is still a threat to our accounts to the downside. So watch out for that at 13.70. And then a couple other baby gaps here. All right. And that is still in play, taking our accounts down with it. Ignore all the horizontal lines. The pink ones are my previous buy-in, and then the other lines are just support and resistance. And another thing that you can do just to mark out support and resistance for yourself, which I like to do, and that's how I create all of these lines. So, oh wait, that was the 15-minute time frame I flipped over for those gaps to see, because I can only go left so many times before TradingView doesn't let me look left anymore on the 5-minute time frame. So you've got to go to a bigger one. But when it comes to this time frame on the 5-minute, move this out of the way. What was my point? Oh, my point is marking support and resistance. And as I've mentioned before, the lines continuously move depending upon the time frame that you are in. It is a moving target. So if we get down to here and then we go up, this line will start to creep up. But price typically follows the middle of the trend and the baseline. And you have to, if we're up here, we have to get to this line, the middle of the trend, to go down if we get to these levels. And then on the way up, you'll pass through the middle of the trend. But that's typically just the resting place of price before making its way up or down. All right, so this is how I would mark it out. So I like to just mark out -2, the middle of the trend, and 2 standard deviations. Oh, let me take off the magnet. And let's just change this to a different color that I don't use all the time. Let's go to purple. So this is the range I'm going to expect for Tuesday. So that's the middle of the trend and here. So I will anticipate price to stay within this range. All right, that's a look at Mara, and pay attention to the RSIs See here, we fell down, went back up again, and then fell back down. There's divergence here. This is going down, this is going up, and that's what happens sometimes. But typically, I just use this as support and resistance to know when possibly to consider buying or consider selling. Now I'm going to move this over to Pltr. So congratulations if you're up on this one as well. I talked about this also over the weekend. So price was at $23.33 on Sunday night when I did the video, I believe. So right out of the gate, we gapped up, right? And resistance, fell back down, consolidate, making our way back up again. So first, let me give you some price targets. Let me write down something. Okay, so that way I know I did that one. So 25.77, 26.17, and 26.58 to the south side. Roughly $25, and that was an old price target. If I can. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's better for me just to flip it over to the 15. So, oops, Command Z, I accidentally moved that. So on August 5th, this past summer, when I tracked the price target where the analysts thought it was going was $25. So obviously we blazed through that one. And then obviously fell down again. This thing has whomped us around. So now let me just Option R to reset. Take you back to the 5-minute. To the south side. Okay, I said that number, 25-ish. Then -2 is 24.18, 23.76, and 23.37. This gap fills at roughly 23.32. Let me just mark this one too. Boom and boom. All right, 32-ish. So this gap that I have been tracking, that started on roughly the 28th of March, closed out finally today, Monday. So this is no longer in play. That took us up to 24.45, and the low for today, 24.03, the high 25.36. So that's done. Delete, delete. I keep the price on the box where I know it has not filled yet, and that is still in play. And what is that? Is that 8% there? Yeah. A little bit higher, 8.7. All right. Then we've got this gap that is also still in play, but we are moving farther away from this gap fill as we go up on the channel, the range, as you can see. And then this gap, looking left, I'll clean up my chart with you. Boom, done to the downside, no longer a threat to our account. 21.71, that support, bounced off support up to resistance. And then what happens? A sell-off. That's done, I know, because I took off the price. That just helps me quickly look at it. And then this big doozy to the south side at 19.78, not in play right now. Things are looking better for Pltr. They reported earnings, $634.338 million. The street had it at $615.396 million, and that sent the stock running to the upside. So I will anticipate a little bit of a breather. So now the RSI, though, is turning down. So note this, it can't stay up here forever. It has to consolidate, it has to get back to reality. And then if it's going to go down, it could hit this level and then bounce up again for the next leg up. The 1 year price target is now $35, $10 more from where we are. All right, so that's Palantir. Oh, I want to show you just very quickly, MULN. And I'll give you some price targets. Watch out because we started to fall from resistance. Oh wait, where's my... I've lost, hold on a second, Command Z. I've lost the 4 standard deviations on here. Look at this. Drives me bonkers. Oh, there we go. See how my blue line came back? If you lose something or you mark something out and you don't know what the heck happened, just undo basically what you did. Command Z is what you hit. So now let's go back to MU. I'll fix everything up later. No, I'm going to do MU, but MULN first. MULN. Okay, very quickly, and I've got to go to dinner. Okay, 603. We hit resistance, we're starting to crack. The RSI is falling suit, but let me just give you the price targets to the upside. 635, 701, and 771. $5. This gap forms to the south side at 437, closes out at roughly 417, another one here to be aware of at 390. All right. That's MULN, and there's a tiny one right here as well. Turn on my magnet. It helps me just be a little bit more precise. There we go. But it's so tiny. If you play the standard deviations, it'll just get wiped out by that. Okay, now I'm going to go from MULN to MU. And we ended the day at 120.13, up 4.73%. Your targets now. I'm also in this trade. 123.06. 124.50, 125.86. Let me just mark out all of these. And okay, so I gave you targets to the upside. Now I'm going to give you targets to the south side. 118.01, 117.66, 116.26. This gap closes near -4 standard deviations, 114.64. If we hit this area, I will definitely anticipate a bounce, and then we could actually just dip some more to close this out and then go up. But we are moving away from this gap. And even this one, if we continue to go up. 113.45, 112.32, and that's MU. And I want to do CSX. I've tracked this one before in the past. Okay, 33.68, down 0.5%, 0.5%, to the north side. Back at the middle of the trend and the baseline, 33.89, 34.17, 34.32, 34.37, 34.47, and 34.68. To the south side, support again, 33.59, 33.44, and 33.30. And this gap is already closed. Let me just draw this for you. We gapped up, so I anticipate it to fill to the downside. All right, and it touched, I don't think it touched right there, because if you stretch this out, oh wait, no, Yeah, that, well, conservatively, you could even put it there or here. But that is no longer a threat to our account, and then bounce off of support. And we are sort of starting to run there. The 1 year price target, 39.71. And the last, oh, yeah, I did Mara. The last one I want to do, I got stopped out of this, Sklz. This one's a nasty one. People, this has tanked hardcore. The 52-week high was $14.78. A lot of people trapped at this area, and I'm clawing my way back. I don't remember how high I bought it, but I am in, well, I got out of this trade today, but I did buy in once at 544, it looks like. All right, let's give you the price targets, and then I'll tell you what happened to me. All right, 665 up 3.42%. Now, if you don't want to see all this, if you don't want to see the gaps, or it's hard to read because there are so many gaps to fill to the north side and to the south side, just click it over so that the candles are filled and it's easier to see. So, see, that made it even easier for me to put it on this candle, 665. All right, to the north side, 673, 682, and 691. This is my previous sell zone. All right, and we've got a gap to the upside at 706, closing out at roughly 713. We womped down, look at that. And then I didn't pay attention. I could have bought down here for a ride up. Then I bought down here, and then it flushed me out, and then I should have bought in, but I didn't again. And then we started to go up. And we are still going up on the 5-minute time frame, but I wanted to get out so that I can get a better price when it rests and consolidates, because it will. So I just decided, I set this limit, a sell limit, a while ago, and I didn't go back and change it or just erase it. So next thing I know, I got a notification that I got sold out, and that's fine because we didn't quite make it up to here. This is at the end of the day, but when I sold, this red line was about here. And I sold at 667. The end of the day is 665. But we hit a high of 670. All right, so now I'm going to wait for it to come back down to here, here, or here to buy in again, and then do it all over again, and then watch it more carefully. And I didn't do that. So I decided I'm just gonna get out, and for a very little teeny profit, but some profit is better than losing, I guess. Let me just do something, get the magnet off. All right, here is where I sold out, roughly. Okay. So I bought in at 658, sold out at 667 for 1.34%. Yeah, that's absolutely nothing, but guess what? It's better than letting your money sit with Chase Bank earning 0.002 or whatever joke of a rate that they give you. And then if you check your credit card, they also check your credit score once a week now. So if you have a Chase account, you might want to think twice about getting out. And if you care about your credit, you'll definitely dump Chase with the credit card, because my other credit cards do not check once a week. It's a joke. Okay, that's my rant for today. Only because I care about you and I want you to make money. Okay, so 665, where we ended, to the south side. I don't think I gave it to you because I went sideways here. 656, 638, and 629, and 620. And when I talk about their credit card, I have exceptional credit. So I track my credit multiple times a week just because I'm buying a lot of things, and my credit is very important to me. Not that I use it for anything because I usually pay cash for whatever I need, but I put everything on my credit card so I get points back at the end of the year. And that's how I use my credit card to my advantage. All right, so that is Sklz. So that does it for me. That's a look at Mara, Palantir, Muln, Muln, MU, and CSX and Sklz. Have a great trading day.